Okay, let's go ahead and look at 1, 2, and 3. We have to state whether these relations are linear, exponential, or quadratic. I would first start off by recommending typing these equations into Desmos. So go ahead and type y equals 3x squared minus 5. Well, this is what it looks like. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way. It is like a U-shaped. I mean, it's kind of pointy, but it's still like a U-shaped. So when we look at quadratics, if they look like a U, or a quadratic will look like a U. So this one is quadratic. Okay. So then let's look at number 2. We'll type 2 into Desmos. Y equals 5 to the x power. So when I type this into Desmos, it looks like we are starting as a flat line, and then it quickly turns and goes up. So that type of graph is an exponential. So exponential, where the graphs looks like they grow exponentially or decay exponentially. And then our third and final graph, y equals 2x plus 5, if I type that into Desmos, I get a straight line. So this one is linear. In a linear graph, has a straight line. Now, this case was a positive one, but sometimes they can also be negative. Now, if you don't want to necessarily look at the graphs, you don't necessarily have to, but you have to know what makes a quadratic. So looking at number 1, this little 2 right here, that exponent of a 2, that's the biggest exponent, that's what makes it quadratic. For an exponential, all exponentials have an exponent of an x. Any linear function, this x really has an exponent of a 1. That is what makes that exponential, is that that linear, I'm sorry. That's what makes it linear, because that x has an exponent of a 1. That's also in the form y equals mx plus b, which we know is an exponential equation. Okay, go ahead and state whether the number 1 is linear, exponential, or quadratic. Okay, number 2. Number 3. And number 4.